KJA Global Channel.
Freedom by design.
The questions that test freedom. The 30 articles, Q&A. Masterclass series.
E130 Article 5. The line that cannot be crossed.
Moral authority and conscience, Article 5 pairs with Episode 86. What does the prohibition cover? And how far does it reach?
It covers not only torture, the intentional infliction of severe pain to punish, coerce, or intimidate, but also cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment that falls short of torture yet still violates human dignity.
It binds the state directly and obliges it to prevent such treatment by others. Crucially, the duty travels.
A state may not send a person to a place where they face a real risk of such treatment.
The prohibition is comprehensive precisely so that cruelty has nowhere to hide and no border to slip across.
Across sectors,
it governs detention, interrogation, policing, institutional care, and any transfer of a person across borders.
Why no exception? Not even to stop an imminent atrocity.
Because the moment a single exception is admitted, the absolute becomes a negotiation. And history shows the exception expands without limit. The prohibition is non-derogable.
No war, no emergency, no order from a superior, and no claim of greater good can justify it.
The implementation logic is that an absolute line is enforceable in a way a balancing test never is.
Officials know there is no scenario in which torture is lawful, removing the very deliberation through which it always creeps back.
The absoluteness is not naivete. It is the only defensible rule.
Across sectors, ticking bomb arguments, emergency powers, and chains of command are never defenses.
What concrete safeguards keep the line from being crossed in secret?
Torture thrives in isolation, so the safeguards break the isolation. A detained person must have prompt access to a lawyer, an independent medical examination, and contact with the outside world. Their detention must be registered and known, and they must be brought before a judge quickly. Independent bodies must be able to inspect places of detention without warning. Each safeguard removes the darkness in which cruelty operates. The mechanism is visibility, because what can be seen is far harder to inflict.
Across sectors,
access to counsel and doctors, detention registries, prompt judicial oversight, and unannounced inspections.
What happens when torture occurs anyway?
Two consequences make the prohibition bite. First, the exclusionary rule. Any statement or evidence obtained through torture is inadmissible. It cannot be used for any purpose, which destroys the incentive to torture for information.
Second, accountability.
Torture must be a serious crime, independently investigated, with no immunity for those who order or commit it, and no statute of limitations that lets time launder the crime. Cruelty must be made both useless and punishable, or the prohibition is a paper wall.
Across sectors,
courts excluding coerced evidence, independent investigation units, and prosecution without immunity or time bar.
Difficult questions do not weaken freedom. They protect it from shallow thinking and unaccountable power.
Examine the assumption, verify the evidence, continue learning, and turn understanding into responsible civic action.
Share this discussion, participate thoughtfully, and subscribe to the KJA Global Channel so that the learning continues.
KJA.
Knowledge justifies authority.
Freedom must not only be imagined.
Freedom must be designed, protected, and lived.